I'm here at Whitekirk on a rainy July day in Scotland, and I'm standing in front of an incredibly historic church that East Mountain may have the chance to participate in it. To be a part of the renewal of the history of this beautiful church in the 21st century. So I'm going to have a look around, and I'll talk a little bit about the history and why this place is so special, and then a little bit about what we might be able to do. So come with me. See here, it's on the Forth to Farn Way. That's a fairly new pilgrimage route. This church itself was actually listed in the Middle Ages as a part of the Camino that went to Santiago de Compostela in Spain. From St. Andrews all the way down to Spain, this was a stop along the way. So we kind of wonder, what would it look like for this to become a stop along the way for new pilgrims in the 21st century who are looking for God. Some of them who know that they're looking for God, and some of them the ones who don't know that they're looking for God. So curious about that and what pilgrimage might look like in 2021 and beyond. And the door is probably locked, but I'm gonna go just to check and see. Let's see, this is the 15th century doorway with the empty St. Nooks that were taken down in the Reformation. There's another one there. Nope, locked. I wish I could take you inside. It's really lovely. In fact, this church was basically burnt to the ground, all except for the outer walls and the tower in 1914, supposedly by the suffragettes, although that's never been proved. But what that meant is that this church was actually rebuilt from the inside out in the 20th century. So it's in amazing shape. There's beautiful stained glass. There were famous Scottish architects who came here to rebuild this church. It's beautiful inside. So just to imagine what it might look like if we had the chance to go in there and to bring new kinds of beauty and worship and prayer. It's really exciting. So hopefully in the future I'll be able to come back and take some more video so you can see what it looks like on the inside. This is the church that we are looking to be a part of, to see the history of this church renewed. So the building itself dates back to the 1400s. There was a countess in the town of Dunbar who actually came to this place because there was a holy well. So somewhere close by, and it may be over in those fields over there, is a holy well. It was lost in the 19th century, but Tommy Dale, the guy that we are working with to see the church purchased, has the idea of going well hunting. He wants to get some high-powered metal detectors to see if we can find where the well would be, because in the Middle Ages they would have thrown coins into the well. So somewhere there are some ancient coins that might lead us to this well that was so famous, to which thousands upon thousands of pilgrims came to. So we might get a chance to see an ancient well renewed and restored. A holy well that, quite ancient, probably dates back to the 7th or 8th century, connected to St. Baldred, who was basically the patron saint, the guy who spread the gospel here in East Lothian. So this little hamlet of Whitekirk, also Tinningham, Aldham, and Prestonkirk were the churches that he was said to have founded. He came from Lindisfarne, so we have great connections to Holy Island and Lindisfarne. Just going to walk around the churchyard here. So there was a holy well associated with him here, and a hermit who actually lived here, who was here at the time of the 15th century and a countess from Dunbar who came looking for a holy well. So she came here, she found healing, and she actually had this church built. So that holy well became a place of pilgrimage. And during the Middle Ages, in one particular year, they counted over 14,000 pilgrims who came here. So you can imagine, over the centuries and decades, that's probably hundreds of thousands of pilgrims that came to this place to worship and to visit that holy well. In fact, if we look over there, that's called the Tithe Barn. That was actually built for the pilgrims that came by one of the Jameses, the kings of Scotland. There was one of the Jameses that actually came here quite often, and this became a place of royal interest. So massive, massive history. It was, of course, turned into a Protestant church in the Reformation in the 16th century, and has been Protestant and Presbyterian ever since. So the Church of Scotland is going to sell this building because sadly the congregation has dwindled to almost nothing, so they can't keep up the building. So this is kind of where we come in. Our part of the story, perhaps, in the 21st century is seeing if we, East Mountain, can partner with others. In fact, I just got done with a meeting with a local landowner and businessman whose family is connected to this church. His great-great-grandfather was the minister here, and he was the moderator of the Church of Scotland. And he wants to work to buy this place and then to work with us, with East Mountain, with Discovery Church in Dunbar, maybe 24/7 Prayer Scotland, to see worship continue at Whitekirk and to see the brilliant and beautiful history of this place renewed in our day. So it could perhaps become a center again of pilgrimage, of renewal, of worship, of music and the arts, of beauty, of God's power moving out again in this land. So anyway, this is the Whitekirk dream.